I want to talk about the deception that I see a lot today. Let's just keep it 100. The worldview of Christianity, or what we see as Christianity today, is not real walking by faith Christians. It's just not true. It's not real. This is going to be spicy. This episode is going to be spicy. I'm sorry. It's not real. Walking by faith and truly being a Christian is hard. It's not easy. It's not convenient. It doesn't make you feel warm and fuzzy every day. It is a challenge. And I think the part of the deception, part of the problem is that we present it in a way that is lilies and daffodils, and we're just eating ice cream and we're just happy all the time. And that's what it is. Though the walk with God, like you see with other religious practices, is a discipline. It is sacrificing. It is dying to oneself. It is saying, you know what, God, this desire, I need you to control it. This, I need you to. We look at the faith, especially in our Americanized world, because we all can speak to is being in America. Not everybody that watches me is in America, but when I see westernized Christian faith, is very watered down and it's not real faith. Real faith isn't like, oh, I say thank you to God because it seems like the right thing to say. I don't pray because it just seems like the right thing to do, or it seems like when I'm doing these things, I'm walking in faith. And what we have to be confronted with, the reality is, when we give our lives to Christ, when we decide to say we are a Christian, our lives change. We look different. And the problem is, a lot of us say that we have given our lives to Christ and we have this relationship with God. But when I look at your life, or when you look at your own life, there's not many aspects of God that are in there. And somebody watching you wouldn't ordinarily, or somebody watching you would not think that you are walking in faith. And y'all, that is the mark. That is the mark of, whether we want to admit that or not. Fruit is the mark of a real relationship with God. And I'm telling you, I was lukewarm. I'm telling you that, yes, on some level, you could see that I had a relationship with God, but I was complacent. I was praying. I was doing this. I was doing that. Was I walking by faith in some areas? But areas that I was already comfortable walking in faith in, because I had seen God be faithful. So I allowed him to have those areas. But the areas that were most sensitive to me, the areas that I had been hurt in, the areas that I've been disappointed in, the areas that I was like still working on letting anybody in, let alone my creator in. Yeah, no, I wasn't walking by faith. And so therefore I was lukewarm. And so today I want to talk about lukewarm, because I think that, again, lukewarm is the popular dominant way that people are walking. Yes, they might know I was raised in a church, I know Jesus. If I look at your life, are you set apart? Because that's really what it comes down to. If I was, and y'all, again, I'm not saying this in condemnation way. I'm saying this because I was convicted. I was convicted. There were things that I was doing. There was just in my life, how I was moving in my life. I wasn't seeking God for comfort. I was seeking food for comfort. I was seeking my friends for comfort. I was seeking my family for comfort. I wasn't going to God for certain things. I wasn't having faith for certain things anymore. I had allowed disappointment. I had allowed my past failures. I had allowed my weaknesses to get me to be like, you know what? I'm not even going to hope for that anymore. I'm just going to protect my heart around anything that resembles. If that looks like I could potentially get hurt, I ain't doing it. So now I'm living this very fenced up, guarded walk. And that's not faith. I stopped dreaming for certain things that I know deep down inside I wanted and I desired. But I just pushed it down, suppressed it, because I've been hurt. I've been disappointed. And that, y'all, for me, that runs very, very deep. That's real. Runs very deep. And God was calling me to dream in that area again. God was calling me to hope in that area again. And so a part of this faith thing is recognizing that some of the desires that you have, some of the things that you're drawn to, they're from God. I'm confirming it. Some of those things that you've tried to put it aside. There's been some things, let me just be honest. There are some things that because I didn't see it happening or it wasn't moving as fast as I wanted it to, I'm like, God, this can't be you. Can't be. Because I know if it's you, I'm going to see some evidence of it. If I know if it's you, I'm going to see or experience something that's going to confirm that this is you. The reality, though, family, is that when it's a God dream or when it's a God-given desire, there is not evidence for it. It's not. The prove it theory, the evidence theory, those things, yeah, no, that's not a God thing. Oh, when you walk with God, he does give you evidence. He does give you signs and wonders. Those things do happen. But initially, you're just drawn to it. You don't know why. It just piques your interest. You don't know why. And y'all, there has been some things where I try to fast it away. I've tried to do everything you could possibly do to take the desire away. I mean, I really have. And it won't go nowhere. And I'm like, God, why? I don't why have you forsaken me, Lord? Jesus. And God's like, because I put that inside you. I did that. And I'm not going to let you get away from that. And so I, like, this year really was me surrendering to it and being like, okay, all right, I'm tired of fighting it. Let's go. This is what you want me to do. I don't know how much time I have left on this earth. Let's roll with it. Let me not get in the way of what God has in store for me. If you're pressing this upon me and you're telling me this is you, well, let's rock, God. Let's rock. Let's do it. And so, y'all, you're talking to a person that, again, was confronted with, yeah, you lukewarm. And I don't think we understand how serious being lukewarm is. In Revelations 3:16, it says, so then, because you are lukewarm and neither hot nor cold, I will vomit you out of my mouth. Yeah, people like to say, I'll spit you out. He says, no, I will vomit you out of my mouth. And the meaning of lukewarm is that Jesus is not condemning the church for being cold or unbelieving, but for being neither fully committed nor fervent in their faith, but rather lukewarm. That the reality is, family, what we see in the world today, the popular way to walk out our faith is lukewarm. And God is saying in his word, I vomit those type of Christians out. They don't belong to me. I need y'all to be hot or I need y'all to be cold. I don't do lukewarm. And y'all, that's how I am about my relationships. Look, I'm making a joke here to lighten up the mood, but it's true. Be all in or be all out, baby. Okay, I need you to be all in. You here? Be all in. I'm gonna be hot for you. Gonna be hot for. We don't want no lukewarm partner that's like, I'm on the fence. I like you today, don't like you tomorrow. I want to be here today, I want to be here tomorrow. No, you want somebody who's all in. God wants us to be all in. He wants us to be hot. He wants us to be committed. And so this lackadaisical, I can live my life any type of way. I could do whatever I want. It doesn't really matter. I don't really need to do the spiritual disciplines. I can present myself in any way, shape, or form I want to, is not a true reality of what the faith is. God is not calling us to perfection. God is calling us to obedience. There are two different things. And I know that that's like a whole different conversation, but like, yes, we're going to sin. We're going to fall short. That is just what y'all, even when you're trying to be perfect, you're going to have a way of not being perfect in being perfect, right? It's not about that. It's about God is speaking to each one of us about something. If you're in a relationship with him, he is speaking to you about something, right? There is something that he has pressed upon your spirit that you are aware of, that he is dealing with you in. And he is calling you to obedience. There are ways that as we get closer to God, that you naturally start to become. The more time you spend with him, the more you look like him. That's part of the faith walk. And so when I see people and the way that they conduct themselves or the way that they present themselves, it's like, this doesn't have anything to do with God, but then you're saying, thank God, or when all else fails and, you're you've made some decisions that you can't get out of, and now we're bringing up God again. It's like, no, that God is not the escape plan. God is the director. He's not just the deliverer. And so a lot of people, they find themselves like, God, I did all this stuff, and you know what? I just need for you to now come in, now enter. And he's like, wait, hold up. You did that to yourself. Now I am a merciful God, and I am a gracious God, but I am a just God too. There are consequences to choosing to do things your own way. And like I said, and I've said all throughout this, the popular way to be a Christian in today's society is to be kind of on the cold side, not really hot. In fact, when people are hot and people are in faith, we look at them like they're crazy. We look at them like they're extreme. We look at them like, oh, goodness, I don't know about that. That's just a lot. Those are the hot ones. The ones that it seems like is too much. Those are the ones that may actually got it right. Now, I'm not saying that we over spiritualize everything in this, that, and third, but what I've learned in this walk, family, and I'm just being completely honest with you, there's a lot more spirituality going on than you think.